In this video, we're going to take a look at getting started with the header and footer blocks. Now the header block has a few extra features associated with it, so let's start with that. First of all, let's go ahead and use one of the predefined layouts just for speed things up. Let's click the plus, open up our blocks browser, and we're going to come over and make sure we choose the option for header. Inside there, we can now choose any of the pre-designed headers. We can switch between the dark mode and the light mode, and we can just choose whatever we think is a great starting point. And they are just that. If you want to edit these or start from scratch, you can do. So let's go ahead and choose this very first option. Let's insert that into our design. And let's go ahead now and position this where we need it. We'll go ahead and open up the reorder blocks option and position our header right at the top. Okay, so now we've got our header in place. What do we have that's different? Well, first of all, you can see we can choose the menu we want to work with. Now we'll cover menus in their own video a little later, but for now, let's just set this up to use our menu. We'll simply choose the option to select this widget, choose the very first icon, and from there we're going to select the menu we want to use. We'll open this up and I'm going to choose the option for menu. So now we've set up our menu inside our header. But what else do we have? What makes this such a special block? Well, let's go ahead and open up the section options one more time. We'll open that up. We'll choose the first option one more time as well. And from there you can see we've now got the header type. We can choose between static, fixed, and sticky. So let's take a look at the difference between those to start off with. Let's choose static. Once we do that, that's now set that to be right at the top of our page. And as we scroll up, you can see it's fixed to the top of the page. And as we scroll back down, it stays in place. Again, let's go back to our options, open up the first one, and choose this now to be fixed. This now fixes our header block to the top of the browser window. So as we scroll up, you see it stays in place. Scrolling back down the page, and you see again, it just stays where we have it set at the top. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at the third option now. Let's open this up again and change this over this time to sticky. You can see everything looks exactly the same. Now if we go ahead and scroll the page, you'll see it looks like the header sticks to the top of the page. However, once we get past a certain point, you see it scrolls back down and we now get a sticky section at the top of our page. And we scroll back down, you can see it reverses. Really cool way of setting up your header. Now on top of these different ways in which we can set the header block up, we also have some extra options. So again, let's go back up. Let's open up the section settings, choose the first option again, and this time we're going to choose the option to make it global. Now by making it global, you'll apply this particular header to every single page on your entire site. We've covered this in more detail in its own dedicated video. I recommend checking that out for more info. But for a quick recap, let's go back up. If we choose the same option again, you can see once we make it global, we now get some options for display conditions. And this allows us to choose where and when we want to display this particular block. So at the moment, you can see this says include pages and home. So this would only display on this particular page. However, we can change that and set this to display on all of our pages. Now this new header section with all the settings we've applied to it will be displayed on every single page on our site, even new pages that we add later on down the line. So let's hit save on there. And then we can close this section down. So now we've created our header and we've applied this globally to our entire site. Let's scroll to the bottom of our page and let's go ahead and create a footer in a very similar fashion. We're going to click plus to open up the browser. We're going to choose the option this time for footers. We're going to just choose the option for dark. And we'll pick one that looks pretty cool. I say I like the look of this one. We'll choose that option and you can see now we've got to do the same thing again. We'll select the option to choose what menu we want. Choose the first icon. Set this to be menu like we did before, and there we go. We've now set that up inside there. If you want to tweak the design or add extra elements in, you can do that. The last thing we need to do is make this global and apply this to our entire site. So again, we'll choose the options. We'll choose to make this global. Once we've done that, we'll come back over, we'll choose the first icon again, and this time we're going to set the display condition, and we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to set this to display on all of the pages throughout the entire site. Hit save, and we've now set that up. So every page will have this header and footer with all the settings we've applied to it. Let's go ahead and update this. And let's go and take a look at this in action. As you can see, there's our header section. We'll scroll right the way to the bottom, and there's our footer section. Our header is operating the way we've set it up. Everything is in place, and that's how easy it is to set up your headers, your footers, and apply global conditions, and also how to set up visibility conditions.